I misplaced my tripod, so I don't know how well this will video, but anyway, I talked before about my place and how I need to clean it up. So at this point, I think I've shown you the majority of what needs to be done. Maybe I'll walk around here really quick again just so you can see basically how crazy it is. I'm going to do a time lapse of this portion of it and possibly the yard too that I showed you. I'm going to transition to the goals I'm going to try to do and how I'm going to be transitioning from the towing and mechanic work to doing something new. Most likely going to school to learn electronics for vehicles better. Anyway, I want to have all these shelves filled so that I'm using all my area to the best I can. And even my toolboxes need to be organized. They're in a real disarray. So, I'll give you an idea what that is like. And like I say, I'm going to do a time lapse, I think, of me cleaning this up over months. I'm going to try and do it each time or every other time, something like that. Today I'm diagnosing a vehicle. It is a 2001 Nissan Pathfinder. So it was abandoned for whatever reason. Somebody didn't want to pay the bill or something. And when I was investigating, I found somebody had torn it apart like this. Looks like, I don't even know what that is. I guess the, what do you call it? Idle air control motor down on the bottom looks brand new. And I found, I don't know where it is, one of the coils, that one that is missing, was melted. I believe I found another one. So I'm probably going to change the spark plugs in case they are out of gaps. I already bought those. So I'll have to be pulling off this stuff. It just cranks and does nothing because nothing's really hooked up right now. But since I already know that somebody's done something with the wiring here too, I do not know. I haven't really. I'll have to trace when I plug it into what that goes into. I'm guessing it's probably the idle air control that was replaced, and then they figured out that this wasn't the problem. It was probably the motor. So we'll see. And then, yeah. So right now, like I say, I guess I could try and crank it, but it won't do anything. It just cranks, but it sounds like it has compression. So this is kind of my goal today. I will, if I kind of get it put together, I'll show you what it does or if it even starts after all that. So I'd let you know what was going on today. I just had the guy I rent from visiting me, but I don't know if you know people like this, but he almost always, every single thing he says is negative in every way. So, and that's one reason I'm going to try and switch this to like the flips that I do and show you what's possible. I found a video the other day. Maybe I'll explain it really fast and then I'll post it next time I have a chance. I found a video the other day that talked about, I think I just did it for fun, but it was a 2001 Toyota Camry. And the story goes kind of like this. I bought some cars from a mechanic shop. It's probably a 4 or 5 bay mechanic shop, pretty big shop. And I went in to see what he had, and he had this Camry, but only had like that. I'll post a video of it. Hopefully, I think I have something. That he said it was a rod knock, and it had like really low miles, like 80,000, 100,000, something like that for that year. This is about probably 6 years ago, 5 years ago. So it was, it was even newer back then. And because the low miles looked like brand new inside, and I'm like, well, I'll take a chance on this. There's only, like I say, I don't remember, $150. And when I got it back to my shop, I checked, and it had, it sounded like a rod knock, but I thought, well, I'll just open it up and see. And there was metal in there. but when I opened up further, I could see that what was it, the tensioner? I think it was the tensioner. It was either the tensioner or the water pump. I think it was the tensioner. The bearing had gone out, and it was just scraping and bouncing and against the wall of the head, or against, I can't really remember because it's been a few years. And so that's what it was. I put on the timing belt, did a couple other little things, and I sold it to my son because he needed a car. I think I sold it to him for like $2,500, and he drove it for 2.5 years with pretty much zero problems. Maybe did tires. And then he sold it in one day, putting it online, and sold it in one day for like $3,000. So that's a positive story, and you can do that too if you just hustle. That's what I'm trying to get to, is show people the possibilities that are available in, repairing vehicles, finding good deals, flipping them. And most of them, if you do your research and you know a little bit about vehicles, and you're willing to take a little bit of risk, you can end up with deals like that too. I mean, that Camry probably would have lasted to 250,000 miles. He just was tired of it, I guess. So there's a positive thing that happened, or a positive flip. And most guys like me are doing those every day, and there's certain ways to do them. They're out there for everybody. And so that's kind of what I wanted to say.